Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to a brand new PSGL League Racing video. This is round number 4, around one of my favorite tracks, or maybe not one of my favorite tracks, but one of my best tracks in the F1 games. It is Montreal in Canada, and as you can see, we are 9 points behind the championship leader after a poor Silverstone race. We finished 3rd and 2nd in the first 2 races, so yeah, not ideal, but we go again. There's still 5 rounds to go, if you include this one, and yeah, more than enough time to make up those 9 points in the coming few races, maybe even in this one. The point system is not the same as in Rule F1. It's 16 points for a win, 12 for second, 10 for third, etc. So we can easily make up those 9 points today if we get a win, or even P3 if Thomas and Danny doesn't score any points. We are heading out for Q1. This is another mystery track. We did not know. Sorry, this was not a mystery track. The next one will be a mystery track. So everyone could practice for this one. We did a little bit of practice. I'm not gonna lie, I took it a little bit chill in the past weeks with the F1 game. I've played like 20 hours in the past 2 weeks. Yeah. Just started practicing on the day itself for this race, so he might not be fully up to pace, but yeah, I did some time trial, or actually quite a lot of time trial a few weeks prior to this, and that generally tends to help a lot in, you know, preparation, because over time, it's hard to explain, but if you do a time trial, you set a lap, and 2 weeks or 3 weeks later you come back to it, you've just improved so much. I don't know the reasoning behind it, but it just tends to be the case. So it's hard to explain for me why. But yeah, even comparing to the start of the game cycle, if I come back to a track, use the same setup, I just tend to be straight away on the pace and even go faster, or maybe not even faster, but it's just really easy to set lap times. Probably over time you just get better on this specific game. So yeah, nearing the end of our first Q1 run. Yellow flags into the final sector, and I think that's for someone boxing. Actually, yeah, that car on the inside was going slowly, as we had a really poor last chicane. That last chicane is so hard to nail. We come across the line.
Why is that guy standing there on the inside?
We got distracted a little bit by the car on the inside, but yeah.
He's still not in the pits.
On to our second run. This time we did not get distracted, and we managed to improve. Again, not a great chicane, to be honest. I mean, just not taking it well, just driving poorly at the moment, and I have to get into a little bit of a rhythm. We are P8 in that session, but it felt like I could have gone another half a second faster if I nailed it, especially last chicane. If you nail the last chicane, you gain such an incredible amount of time. That's a corner that can really make or break your lap, or invalidate your lap. Because you have to push it to the limit so hard, and be right on the edge of track limits on both sides of the curb. And yeah, not just that, not just that you have to be on the limit of track limits, but you also have to carry so much speed, brake late, and get a good exit. It's so hard to nail. And yeah, now we're out on a used set of tires, and look at the difference. That was at least 2
I don't
tenths.
think I'm gonna improve on this.
At least 2 tenths faster, and this was on a used set of tires. And this has kind of been the case in the past few races. I feel like I'm just so fast on used tires relative to new tires. And you can see
he turns worse on new tires.
on new tires I'm slower, and I don't know why. The car just feels worse on new tires. The balance feels worse. It's so much harder for me to nail a lap on new tires. So out we go again. Another new set of tires, and that means we're only gonna have 1 new set remaining for Q3, but that doesn't even seem to be really an issue, because we're faster on used tires. Now, perhaps by the time we get to Q3, that might not be the case again, as we're really sending it through that chicane, half a 10 up. And theoretically, we should gain time relative to used tires as the lap goes on. On the F1 game, if you're in a used set of tires, you kind of get away with it in the first sector, maybe in the second, and then in the last you start losing a lot of time because the tires start to drop off. And as we go through there now, as we go 1.5 10 up, we invalidated.
Unlucky.
But we made it through again in P8. So we could have made it into Q3 on a used set of tires. We could have just stayed in for the final 2 runs. But yeah, theoretically we just should be able to go faster on a new set of tires. Our teammate Jake Benham out in Q2 and Thomas Ronner, our championship rival, out in Q2 as well. And that's really important for our championship. First run in Q3. We are gonna finish this lap. It's a used set of tires. And it's a 108.653, 1/10 slower than our teammate Danny Bresnay. And we invalidated the second one. I kept pushing because yeah, I just want to see how far I could go up. This is a used tire again, by the way. And as you can see there, we went up 1.8 tenths. That would have been provisional pole on used tires. But now we have put on the new tires, and let's see what we can do on the set of new tires. This is the final lap we're gonna get. We can perhaps get a second lap if we abort it. 1 minute 20, a lap is only 109, 108, 110 more or less. So we should have enough time if we do invalidate this lap, so we can really push it to the limit. Through the second chicane we go a little bit too wide. You can see that's just not on the limit as much. We were half a tenth up on used tires and we're only 200s up now. A little bit of a moment through there. And yeah, it's not enough of an improvement to go for a pole position at the moment. We have to really nail the next few corners and really send it. And yeah, it's just not on the limit enough. 600s up. We go into the hairpin. This is also a little bit of a make or break it corner because yeah, minimum speed is so important in a hairpin like that, with the exit as well, and it's quite a long braking zone. And now we're 1.2 tenths up. On used tires we were 1.8 tenths up, so again a worse lap on new tires as we go into the final chicane. And let's see if we can gain some more time through here. A little bit of hesitation, we gained a bit of time, clattered into the wall a little bit as well. And up to P3 we go for now, but there's still people setting laps. And we ended up in P5. Again,
I don't know.
it's frustrating. It's like we consistently this season, both in PSGL and WR, we've had the pace to get pole position every single Q3 session. And I just keep bottling it. It's so frustrating. But yeah, to be fair, we're also just not practicing enough to be faultless all the time. So I'm just happy that we're consistently qualifying top 5, because that's what you need in order to be in contention for the win. On F1 23, perhaps you only need to be like top 10. So it's important we're just top 5 all the time. But yeah, I reckon if we want to be a bit more faultless, we just have to practice more. But this is my off season, of course, and I'm just taking a bit of more off time than usual. We're not in a full-on grind.
Stuck. We're fine.
And yeah, into the race we go. You can see we wanted for the soft, selecting the 2-stop strategy because it's such a short pit lane and the softest compounds available here in Montreal. Everyone ahead of me on the hard compound of tires is going to be 5 red lights, and away we go. Not a great start considering we're on the softs, but into turn 1 we go. We're going to have a little look down the inside of Luke Smith and going to try and go around the outside through here because we've got more grip on those soft compounds of tires. We're going to enable the ERS and go around the outside into the chicane. Luke gives up the position knowing we have more grip. Actually, Ismail Fassi on the softs as well. Tamasgal on the medium. So lots of different strategies again. I reckon a lot of people behind me on the hards as well. Now this is the C5 compound, so we should have a lot of grip in the opening few laps. For the people who don't understand tire compounds in Formula 1, you've got C0, C1, C2, C3, C4 and C5. C5 is the softest compound, has the most grip, but also wears out the fastest. So they just explode at some point, way faster relative to the C0. And the C0 is the slowest compound, but it also lasts the longest as it's harder rubber. So we can drive a lot of laps on those softs. We are aiming for a 2-stop here. So is Ismail Fassi. Tamasgal perhaps as well. We're looking for a soft medium for Heron. Perhaps go 10 laps into this race and then bolt on a new set of mediums. Pit loss should be around 15 to 17 seconds around there. It tends to change a little bit on F1 games. It also depends on the pace of the runners that are out on track, of course. So, yeah, DRS enabled, as you can see, lap 5. We got Freddy Rasmussen behind us on the softs as well. I was trying to stay out of his DRS, but he caught up anyway.
I think he's now unboxing.
To be fair, having Freddy around you is nice anyway, because you know he's always up to pace and always fast, so you can kind of work together. Not like how I did last week. That ruined kind of my own race and both of our races by just fighting so hard. And that's just not smart when you're kind of on the same strategy, you know. But yeah, today we're gonna try and play the same game. Ismail Fassi has boxed.
I'm also going to search I'm just asking for this lap.
Yeah, I decided with Ismail boxing, I kind of started to lose faith in the two-stop, and I just decided to stay out and go for a one-stop, which is risky because it is the C5 compound. Grip is gonna absolutely
what
go in the next few laps. Thomas Gal gets past us on those mediums, and we are gonna get DRS on the next straight. Sorry, we're not gonna get DRS on the next straight because it's the double detection, if I remember correctly. So Thomas has boxed, and I decided to stay out even an extra lap after that. So 2 laps longer. Our teammate Danny Bresnay has boxed for the mediums last lap, so he's gonna get an undercut. It being a street track and the softest compounds available, the undercut is gonna be crazy. But if the undercut is big, that also means the tire drop-off is gonna be big. That's just how simple it is. So being on 1 lap freshy tire makes a big difference on a track like this. C4 tires go on the mediums around here, and we come out basically in last place. We've got Freddy Rasmussen and Alfie Butcher behind us. We're staying within the pit lane, entry and exit of course, and we've got our teammate Danny Bresnay ahead of us on 1 lap older tires, and then we got Dylan Warren ahead of him on all the tires, and then yeah, some people just box really early. Ismail Fassi has caught up to that train already.
Did that do on purpose?
And is starting to overtake people. So that's very interesting. He might be an issue for us later on in this race. 2-stop should be faster, but the issue is that you have to pass all those people.
Oh, got it.
And unfortunately, I just missed the rest to Danny Bresnay. For a brief moment, I thought I actually got it, but I did not. That means no DRS on the next 2 straights, and that is not ideal for our race. I should have pushed my ERS harder to stay in, but yeah, bit of a mistake there. Dylan Warren gives up the position to Danny Bresnay. He's on all the tires, and yeah, you can see how fast we're catching up. The train is basically going into the chicane, turn 3, and we're only like 7 seconds behind the train, more or less. So yeah, we're catching up really fast to them. Dylan Warren ahead of us, and we need to get past him. You can see he's dropping time really fast to Danny Bresnay. I'm not sure if he's made a pit stop already actually, because he's going actually really slow. So we're gonna get past him here. He's not defending, and now we need to make sure we get that DRS from our teammate Danny Bresnay. He's not our in-game teammate, he's our in-real-life teammate. He is with Mercedes F1 Esports. Yeah, in Formula 1 Esports, he is my teammate. So F1 Esports teams have 3 drivers, and that's basically, yeah, it's a bit of an issue in league racing because you can't select 3 Mercedes cars. So one always has to go in a different car, and now we're gonna go on the attack on Jack Wast, who has made the pit stop already anyway, but he is on the older tires. And now we're behind Thomas Gal again. He has gone for the medium hard strategy. We are going for the soft medium strategy, and we want to get past ASAP. His hards are only going to get better relative to our mediums, and that means we have to get past ASAP. Now, usually, historically seen on F1 games, hards are not great on Montreal. The harder the compound on street track, the worse usually it is. Yeah, I'm not sure why, but I think it just has to do with it being a low grip surface. And yeah, that doesn't like hard compound tires.
Exactly what I wanted to see.
And yeah, as you can hear me say there, exactly what I wanted to see. Wilson coming into the box just
Was that still
as
out?
we got behind him. And ahead of Danny is Brendan Lee. Still out on track. Expecting him to box soon as well. As Danny pulls next to him on the straight. But Brendan is boxing once again. And that's great news for us. That's perfect. Again, no traffic. Danny did get the arrest there, so it was a bit of an advantage to him as well. I think so, because he didn't get stuck behind him at all.
Daniel?
And he got some, you know, extra ERS recharge, a bit of time gain relative to everyone behind us, and that is great news. So, Thomas Gal now ahead of us on the hards, and now we go on the attack. You can see he had a bit of a moment out of there, and with this hairpin coming up, we go for the move down the inside. Sending it, we almost touched, it was really close actually, and we're gonna turn on the overtake button again. We should have slightly more traction on those mediums, and we're using our battery to get past him. And up into P2 we go. You can see Thomas having a little look, but of course he doesn't do anything stupid into the chicane. Thomas, I think, has been the cleanest league racer I've come across on this game. I don't think I have ever had even a touch with him.
Oh my god.
As you can see, into turn 1 he was trying to defend from Freddy. I realized really late he was going down the inside to defend, left him just enough space, and he loses the position to Freddy now. But yeah, I don't remember Thomas ever being in an incident that was his fault in this game. He's always been really clean, and not to mention really fast. So he's been really good in this game, and I would not be surprised
they all shunted.
if he will be in F1 Esports next year, for sure. But, as you can see there, Freddy...
Oh wait, they all managed to box. Oh, we came out ahead.
But yeah, Freddy, Thomas and Thomas came into an incident in the final chicane.
We have to box.
Freddy and Thomas went side by side into the final chicane, and yeah, going into this final chicane side by side just does not work at all, especially if you don't want to give each other enough room. It always ends in an incident, and some cars behind them crashed into them. It was a huge shunt, but
he's gonna have to take that.
On to a new set of shots we go then, behind the safety car.
On the exit. We will be safe actually. We still have fighting positions. What is he doing? Still racing. Oh, that was actually smart. You're a genius, Danny.
Yeah, as you can see there, our teammate Danny Bresnay somehow got a drive-through penalty. No one still understands why he got a drive-through penalty. It makes no sense. Jake got a drive-through penalty as well, but he was out of the points anyway. I think Tom Manley was another person who got a drive-through, but again, he was outside of the points as well. And Danny, being the great teammate he is, instantly led us through on the pit exit. It's legal to overtake in the pit lane, of course, and that's why we did that. He played the team game straight away, even though he was frustrated. So big shout out to Danny to helping me straight away, even though his race was ruined by the game. He put his emotions aside and still helped us straight away. So he could have not done that, but he knew that he was going to get disqualified in a few laps. There was no point in him taking a drive through because, yeah, you're going to be out of the points anyway. Sorry if you're hearing that crackling again. I think it has to do with the game audio capture in Streamlabs. So I'm going to turn that off in the future and not use that anymore because it's annoying. I'm not sure if you guys can even hear it, but I've got my sound on quite loud on my headphones, and yeah, I can hear it a little bit. So sorry for that if you are noticing it. But onto the race we go again, because you have to take me a little bit chill because I wasn't in the same car as Danny, and I wasn't sure if he was actually still wanting to fight for position.
Danny planning on staying out.
Of course, I wanted to keep the lead. And yeah, going purple now, I realized actually we can go for the fastest lap here, because everyone else is in a train. And we got a full battery, we got no threat from behind, and we're just gonna drain this battery completely. You see, using a bit of battery to gather some momentum into the next lap, fastest lap already, but now we're gonna drain that battery completely on this lap, use our new tires, and try and get an extra second of that fastest lap in order so that no one else can snatch away that fastest lap, and that way we can get an extra point. And that is good news for us. So, purple first sector, of course. Didn't use a lot of our battery yet. We're gonna save that for this little straight. Going through the next chicane up to the hairpin, we're gonna use some more, and then we're gonna drain it from the hairpin to the chicane, and from the chicane to start finish. Because yeah, that's the most efficient way, most time gain we can get. And yeah, another purple middle sector. Danny is gonna get disqualified at the end of this lap. Unfortunately, nothing he can do about it. He just got screwed by the game. And yeah, just unfortunate, because even though we did have new tires, we probably would have won the race if there was no safety car, but we were in P2 when the safety car came out, and at that point it's just equal again, you know, and Danny was in the prime position to win the race from the safety car onwards, so if he would have not had a drive-through, he would have probably won. Simple as that. And yeah, I just feel bad for him. But there's nothing we can do about it. We're just gonna drive our own last lap here. We set the fastest lap. I reckon no one is gonna be able to beat it anymore, because the tires just drop off quite a lot from lap to lap, and everyone is in a train behind us. You can see everyone is within DRS distance apart from ourselves to P2. We drove a pretty much faultless race apart from Q3. We drove a great race, did everything we had to do from start to finish, adapted our strategy as soon as we realized that two-stop was not going to work. And actually Ismail managed to get up to P3
here. Jake not to go for fast lap because outside of the point anyway.
Managed to get P2. Jake is out of the top 10. He actually got a drive-through, I didn't realize.
For that anyway, right?
And he had to take the drive-through. For whatever reason, no one still knows why. But yeah,
Danny a beer.
Yeah, you can hear me say I own Danny a beer there. Even though we drove a great race, I feel bad for Danny because he didn't deserve to get disqualified here. And yeah, as you can see Jake there in P12 with a drive-through. And yeah, 17 points it is for us. 16 points for the win and an extra for the fastest lap, and that means we take the championship lead for the first time this season. We always tend to start seasons in PSGL bad. I'm not sure why, but yeah, up to P1 we go. 42 points, 8 points out of Thomas Ronhaar. Next up is going to be a mystery track, so that's going to be very interesting. Can't wait for that one. I hope you guys enjoyed this PSGL League race first win of the season. Make sure to like and subscribe, and see you guys next time. Ciao.